The substance of the ruling, well, the ruling is predicated on the application of the applicant who has approached the court after the court delivered a judgment on the 10th of December 2025, wherein the court directed that the INEC should register the Nigeria Democratic Congress as a political party. Now, in making that decision, the court had relied on facts which the claimants before him had presented, stating that they owned a particular logo and that they had satisfied the constitutional requirements for registration. Now, after that judgment was delivered, the applicant, realizing that that judgment had been delivered and was predicated on its logo, which the applicant itself has submitted to INEC prior to that, the filing of that action, the applicant then approached the court asking that the court vacates that decision because its rights had been affected by reason of the appropriation of its logo. So what you have witnessed today is, in the ruling, is the court considering the facts before it and arriving at a just conclusion that the right of the applicant was affected in his decision of 10th of December 2025, and that as a result, he has set aside that judgment and has ordered parties to revert to the position where they were before the judgment was delivered, and for the claimants before the court to take appropriate steps to bring in all parties and ensure that the matter is effectually and effectively determined. The parties involved are some pro tem national officers of the Nigeria Democratic Congress. They had sued INEC, but the applicant that has approached the court for the purpose of the ruling we just listened to in court is a peace movement party whose national legal advisor has also come forward as a representative on the face of the processes. Now, the court in the judgment of the 10th of December had ordered INEC to recognize Nigeria Democratic Congress as a political party and register it, issue a certificate of registration, and allow it to be contained on the ballot papers for the purpose of the elections. So those were the fallouts of the judgment. The judgment having been reversed this morning, those steps taken by INEC to do so in recognition and issuance of certificates would also need to be reversed. The certificates will have to be retracted. The registration and recognition on INEC database will also have to be taken out, and wherever they appear on ballot in any election before this suit is now determined, they will now have to be removed. It is ongoing by the reason of this thing. The court just vacated the orders they made and asked parties to come back. They didn't say maintain status quo. There was no such thing from the court.
NDC was formed, registered barely 4 months, and people didn't believe at the time that it was going to be what it is today. And suddenly the party grew, and if I am not too reserved with war, it became the main opposition party by today.
Yes.
And you should know that that will send some concern signal to the party in government if it is not doing well. And we believe that they are not doing well. And the first thing that will occur to you as a party leader is, considering what they have done to other parties or what they have attempted to do to other parties have been issued in the very recent past, you start to think, what is it that they will throw at us? And so, we are not fools not to have not been thinking in that direction. But obviously, as it has been exposed, within the ambit of the law, even as I'm not a lawyer, apparently by what they have done, they could barely not find anything legitimate to throw at us. And just because they just need to do something, some people just have to do something, some people just have to get paid. Some people just have to show that they are working. irrespective of what. That is what they have done, what they have done. And even if you are not a lawyer, from elementary moral perspective, you are talking about a matter that the person involved was not involved, as it were. And even if you attempted to register, I'm not talking as just an ordinary man. Even if you attempted to register a political party with victory sign at the time, and you were not registered, you were declined, the lawyers will answer me. Does it then mean that subsequently, after then, when you were not registered, that symbol cannot be used by another person again? Those are the thoughts that, since I am not a lawyer, that is occurring in my mind. And so what am I saying? By the statement that we have made, which is our official position, we are giving the assurance to all our candidates that the party is fair, our legal team is strong. From the time that breaking news came that our lawyers in court mentioned the outcome of the court, from that time till now, our legal team is working. And our legal team is working with assurance that this is an abuse to the judicial system of this country. And we believe that it is not all implementators or practitioners in the judicial system of this country that will allow the fact that what ought not to be obtained, that will diminish their image, will be kept or will be allowed to stand. And remember, the international community and everybody is watching. We know the calls that we have received in and outside of this country. We are pleading that the judicial players should not drag this country more into the mud. And if there are one or two players that want to show otherwise of this country, we expect some good people and serious-minded people to rise up and say that no, this ought not to stand. This is not the standard. And we in NDC still believes that there are characters like that in this country, and there are characters like that in the judiciary that shall uphold the fact that the judiciary is still the last hope of the common man. And so on that note,
one of the NDC spokesperson said, Obi does not even know ADC manifesto. Obi doesn't have manifesto. Obi just wants to be president, and he believes he's entitled because he's the purest man in Nigeria. Now, let me quickly tell you, it was a lack of good judgment for him to have gone to ADC. Somebody that can make such a monumental error cannot be entrusted with the destiny of over 200 million Nigerians.
Okay.
And let me tell you, do you know this NDC una day? Now by court order.
I not do.
Okay, that you are sympathizing. NDC is not a party. As in terms of registration, NDC is a creation of the court. So if tomorrow the court takes away that creation, don't shout in Umbu. On the INEC website.
They said they've been on for quite a long time, and they just woke one day. These people are not INEC. They said they have a right to ask court to register political parties, and that's why we're in court. So adjournity to self, you could see that their lordships are bending backward to give this case the priority it deserves.
The Court of Appeal has adjourned proceedings in the ongoing legal battle over the proposed deregistration of 5 political parties, the African Democratic Congress, Action People's Party, Action Alliance, Accord Party, and Zenith Labour Party, to July 7, 2026. The appeal follows an earlier Federal High Court judgment directing the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to deregister the parties over alleged failure to meet constitutional requirements for continued registration. At the resumed hearing, all parties were present before the court as directed, with applications filed seeking an extension of time to regularize court processes ahead of the substantive hearing.
We subscribe to the authority of the court, and we are happy that the matter is being given a accelerated hearing. All parties have come today before the court as directed by the court in the last sitting, and applications were made for extension of time to enable them regularize their processes before the court. And I think the courts have to consider giving every party an opportunity to be heard, and in the spirit of fairness, granted the application, and urged all parties to appear again on the 7th of July, where all appeals, both the interlocutory and the main appeals, will be heard.
Counsel in the matter explained that the court's ruling necessitated the adjournment and noted that any eventual order of the court would be binding on INEC.
Whatever the situation, that's the order of the court. And I think based on the fact the records were just transmitted, it is obvious by the rules of the court the appeal has to be adjourned. So it's just in order. And whatever direction the court will give, even INEC timetable is been implemented. Once the court gives order, of course INEC has to comply. So it's in order. The adjournment is okay.
The appellate lawyer maintained that the case is not a pre-election matter and commended the efforts of the court and parties involved to ensure a speedy determination of the appeal.
This case is not a pre-election matter. They said they've been on for quite a long time, and they just woke one day. These people are not INEC. They said they have a right to ask court to register political parties, and that's why we're in court. So adjourning it to 7, you could see that their lordships are bending backward to give this case the priority it deserves. Just like I said in the court, we got the judgment on Monday. Within 3 days, we compile record, even as appellant. That's the substantive matter. And they gave us 3 days. Ordinarily, as appellant, we are entitled to 45 days. And they gave us 3 days. So you will see that both the court, the council, and the parties are doing everything possible. Even for the fact that the people that brought us to court, the 2023 general election was conducted as far back as when. If they had wanted to go to court, they could have gone to court then. But despite the fact that they took a long of time, we are all adjusting to them. So their lordships are doing their best, we are doing our best. It does not affect the justice of the matter in any way whatsoever.
The matter is expected to return before the Court of Appeal on July